gay friends. Thanks to me.
Thanks to you.
Didn't somebody like almost not want to date you because of your affiliation with the gays?
With gay people?
Remember that guy? We had a conversation. I remember being in Michael's.
I don't know. I wouldn't say didn't want to date. I think it was he was very churchy, and I was like, you're not gonna kind of fit into my world because I know a lot of gays.
Yeah.
And my best friend is a gay.
Yeah.
And lots of gays.
We're not around here trying to make people
if
feel
you're gonna be preaching to me, this is just not gonna work out.
Oh my God. Okay, so I know this is random and not planned. You heard about this? She joyfully yelled, "Bye, Miami," as she hung from her car, and then she flew out. So they were here on vacation. They were here on vacation for spring break in a Range Rover on the highway, getting excited, getting ready to leave. So she sticks her head out of the car and she's like, "Bye, Miami." Like, we did it up live or whatever. Apparently the door flew open. She fell out the car and she got killed. Damn. On vacation. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Anyway, we have guests. We have people in the house. We're being so rude. What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Jodie.
Hey.
Host of My Life, Raw, Real, and All the Way Live and Podcast These Nuts.
What's up, y'all?
And to my right, I can actually say to my right now, because we had guys on the show like 2 weeks in a row. A little bit of dick fluence.
A little bit of dick influence, but they ain't here today. It's Wendy. How y'all doing?
What's up? So we have a really, really great topic. So I have to say my bestie is A1 when it comes to selecting the subjects for our podcast. It's all her, y'all. I can't take no credit. I'm behind the scenes.
She's the production.
Yeah. She's the brains.
Yeah.
I just add my little 2 cents. After she gives me cliff notes of what we're going to be discussing.
That's what we're talking about today.
That's how it goes.
Get with it, girl.
All right. So what we talking about today,
today we're going to talk about Tawana Brawley. I don't know how many people know about Tawana. I know you've had a lot of exposure to her because of where you grew up in New York.
Yes.
Where you was at? Poughkeepsie?
So I grew up in a...
Here she go.
I was about to say Crackertown, but
here she go.
It not really is. I grew up in upstate New York. It's a town called
New York.
Poughkeepsie, New York. Shout out to Poughkeepsie, New York. Shout out to Spack and Kill High School, y'all. You know that was the name of my high school, for real?
First of all, I never heard of it, but good.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
It's some cracker shit, for real. Anyway, shout out to Spack and Kill High School. So yes, Poughkeepsie, New York and Wappingers Falls are adjoining cities, both located in Dutchess County. So for those of you that don't know, the Tawana Brawley case actually happened in Wappingers Falls. So when you brought it up, I was like, why do I feel so closely affiliated? Or like I remember having people have conversations that knew her personally.
Yeah.
That's why.
This is why. It's very close. So we're going to talk about Tawana and also some of the similarities that we've seen with the Jussie Smollett case. I like to call him Jussie. And the Jussie Smollett case. So we're going to talk about that today on episode 12. Jussie Smollett.
Oh.
Smollett.
Thanks for telling me.
So let's just recap episode 11. So episode 11 was fun. We had a lot of fun last week.
You missed the countdown. Wendy missed the countdown. We already did it.
Oh my
3, 2, 1, everything. It happened. I saw it. You missed it.
I hate her. She's mad annoying, y'all. Like, I'm over here taking pictures, video, and what does she do? Click. And if Dave didn't say so, we doing the 3, 2, 1.
I just so happened to catch it out the corner of my eye. And I just noticed that the computer started counting down.
I feel like I'm being
not
attacked.
used to this, so I
feel like I'm being attacked.
I observe a lot, so I just noticed
you're attacking
that the computer just so happened to start
attacking me.
So I'm like, okay, that must be something.
For our guests, guys, the last like 3 or 4 shows, I would have known when it started.
This is what we're doing.
We had our guest DT
Shout
in
out
the building.
DT.
Just call me DT. He's a creative. He's a rapper, guys.
He is.
He's also apparently a rapper. He had a song that I listened to last night called Overtime.
Yes.
I even downloaded it on SoundCloud. I'm like, this guy is dope for real.
Yeah.
So the lyrics for me, more than anything, like really connected and made a whole lot of sense. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, his lyrical content it definitely has some body to it.
It really does, which is what made him such a great guest, because he was really, really great to talk to and have a conversation with.
Yeah.
We talked about the Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson situation and kind of took it from a male's perspective, like, why y'all be cheating all the time?
Yeah.
But Dave, being the good guy that he is, only had one cheating experience.
Do you believe him?
I mean,
You
I
think
guess
he was
I have
trying
to.
to show-
I told you, like, I look at this guy as a preacher. Like,
Yeah,
even
that's right.
even when I see him rap, I'm just like, preachers rap, but he don't curse though. Which is
he doesn't?
he does not curse.
Interesting.
He does not curse. I want to say he
I
shout
didn't
out
know
Jehovah
that.
too.
He
In the
did?
I want to say so.
Oh, wow.
In his track that he plays. So I look at him as a preacher. So I was actually even surprised that he even had one cheating scandal to speak of, and
he
it just
did
happened to
say
be a revenge
it was.
situation because he was cheated on.
Right,
Ooh, poor
right.
baby.
Yeah.
His feelings was hurt. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really great show. So
It
if
was.
you guys didn't check out episode 11, check out episode 11, y'all. We had a lot of great fun.
We did.
A great time.
fun, great laughs,
Yep.
great conversations. We went on a couple little
Tangents. Yes.
We did, but I mean that's normal, and they were hilarious. Like I had tears coming down my face.
Yeah, like we were laughing hysterically.
Gut
It was
busting.
so
y'all
funny.
check it out. Episode 11, a male perspective regarding Khloe and Tristan's scandal, and you'll be surprised in our perspective.
Yeah, very different take on it. We didn't just report, the dirt, because everybody been talking
Everybody
about the
knows the
dirt.
tea at
But
this point.
we went in a little bit a little bit deeper and talked about the whole situation. And I'm sorry guys, I just want to talk to you real quickly. I know this has nothing to do with anything, but let's talk about why Jodie, as a Jamaican, does not have mint tea. She has Cersei, which is fine, because I've never seen anybody drink Cersei tea unless you're pulling it from the bush, but fine. Who knew that they had tea bags? Whatever.
Yeah.
You have no mint tea?
I thought I did.
I mean,
I
went through a whole drawer full of tea that will have you shitting for days.
Yes.
Okay, great. You
do
like to
like shit
detox,
tea.
fine. I have detox tea in my home too as well, but
Yeah.
I am a tea drinker.
She
Okay,
is.
I have a lot of teas.
Yes.
Okay,
She
so
gets
if
really
you come
crabby
to my
if
house,
she doesn't have her tea in the morning.
I must have my tea. And we're shooting pretty early today, earlier than we would normally we shoot at night, but today we're doing it early.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty upset that I didn't have, because when you have a flavor for you in your mind, you want to drink a certain thing. Now she did have ginger, and I do love ginger tea as well. So thankfully, shout out, there was one little bag I had to
was for you.
rummage.
I was saving it for you.
This is why you must walk with your own tea, guys. Okay.
Tea and hot sauce, apparently.
Why did I was just
Beyonce
thinking about
tell it.
that? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My apologies.
As I sip on my tea.
This is this is really early for me. So it's gonna take me a little bit to wake up, guys. I know you guys are like, where's the energy? It's coming.
It's coming.
Hopefully.
Okay. She's a little tired.
Yeah.
And she's on second round of the ketogenic keto feeding
Chirothin diet.
Chirothin.
So I lost
So-
20 pounds the first bout
Yes.
of doing it. I felt really good. I definitely saw the change in my eating, whatever. So I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Gonna lose another 20 pounds is the goal.
So she hasn't eaten yet, so there's no energy. So
Yeah.
if you give it some time, she gotta warm up, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so on to episode 12
Yeah, this
of
is good.
Podcast These Nuts. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about why. So the question is, why would someone file a false police report, and what is the impact to true victims?
Yeah.
What is the impact? Why do people do this? So that's what
Yeah.
we're going to talk about today. And we have two very impactful stories, two really big stories.
Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't any others,
Right.
but two really big stories of two people who had racially charged claims that really hit the news and were a really big deal.
Right.
So we're going to talk to you guys today about Tawana Brawley
Yes.
and Jussie Smollett. And
Yes.
you may hear me call him Jussie throughout the, because I just like something about Jussie.
It look like a
Jussie. It look like a Jussie.
Yeah, it looks like a Jussie.
Wait a minute. Weren't we supposed to use my name, Duxie? We forgot about that.
Welcome to Podcast These Nuts. I am Jodie, and to my right is
Duxie.
There you have
Check
it.
out episode 11 if you want to know where that reference comes
There's
from.
a whole story behind it
About
but
that, yeah.
Her new name is Duxie. We just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, guys, it's Duxie. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about Tawana Brawley and Jussie Smollett. So we're gonna first kind of peel back the onion
the
as we like to
backstory.
do and get the backstory. So we're first going to talk about Tawana and her whole situation. So as Jodie mentioned earlier, she was very close to the story and very close to the situation because she grew up in upstate New York in Poughkeepsie. And
shout out Spike Kill High School class of 99. Whoop whoop.
Whoa. And the Tawana Brawley situation happened in 1987 in Wappingers Falls in Dutchess County, New York. So she was a 15-year-old girl that said that a gang of white men abducted and raped her. Right. They wrote KKK across her chest and nigga across her stomach. Wasn't not a horrific thing?
Something about feces was involved as well.
Feces. She was found in a plastic bag with feces covered over her. She went in, y'all. Okay? Her sneakers were cut with a razor. Her jeans were burned in the crotch area. I mean, I'm talking about full throttle. If Jussie wanted to learn, he should have learned from this girl right here. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a lot of similarities in these two cases in terms of everything that they went through and how people found them and how they made themselves to be the victims of these particular crimes. So her attack came after a killing of a black youth that was fleeing a white mob. So there's a lot of tension in the northern part of the U.S. You know, a lot of times and this is back in the 80s, you know, we still face racism very strongly, especially in this Trump era. You know, racism is still very big, very, loud as ever.
Right.
But however, of course, you know, the further back we go, the more it was in your face.
Yes.
And in those times, and we're talking about the 1980s here, for whatever reason, a lot of people didn't see it as much in the North. The North was really blind to it. You know, here's Jodie, Poughkeepsie, New York, with all her white friends. But down in the South, you know, we probably face racism and seen it in our faces a little bit more than what was going on in the North. So when this black teen was, you know, ran out of a restaurant and chased down by a white mob, it created this whole big sensation. Like, look, racism is here, and it is in the North as well. So Al Sharpton, being the fat motherfucker that he is, jumped on that case. Okay, he was a big nigga, big greasy nigga in those days. I mean, perm and all track suits and everything.
So that's really how we all know him, but it's just because, of course, he's lost the weight, and it's been quite a few years now.
He's like 133 pounds now.
Soaking wet.
Hello.
Okay, so it's funny because it definitely brought back a lot of memories of the old school, big, greasy version of himself that made him just even more disgusting in my eyes. But whatever,
so,
we'll
you know, I will give it to him in that he has done a lot in terms of social activism, specifically, of course, for black people, and really wanted to leave his mark and, you know, make a name for himself beyond making a name for himself, but really do what he could do to impact the black the black community. So I mean, his life story is one. Read a book or you know, read up on Al Sharpton, but he really has been influential, and he's really been around a lot of influential people. So when it came to that particular teen, you know, that was his first, I want to say it was his first organized a setting where he was able to bring people together. It was a really big thing. He brought a lot of attention because, you know, when it comes to black people and crimes and things that happens, a lot of times it's swept under the rug. Nobody's talking about it, and we're not getting justice.
The media isn't playing it because they don't feel as though it's juicy enough, or enough people care about it. So they don't pay attention to it, you know, or it doesn't go properly investigated because it's not highlighted enough, you know. When people put a light on things, it exposes a lot more. So they don't want to be exposed that they are not handling this case the same way that they would a white case. So what he did is
he brought attention.
He brought attention to it.
He brought attention to it. So
however,
when the Tawana case came up, he's like, hold up. 15-year-old black girl, northern part of the United States in New York, you know, where they all are hovering, you know, where they are, you know, at this time in the 80s, KKK written on her chest, you know, nigga across her stomach, feces. I'm like, of course, he jumped on it. So her advisors, she of course had an attorney, but her advisors were Al Sharpton, C. Vernon Mason, and Alton Maddox. They were the spokes people for her legal team. Tawana came out and she accused a cop. She said it was about 6 people, one of which being a cop.
Yes, she was gang raped.
And coincidentally, that cop ended up committing suicide sometime later, about 6 days or so later. Not necessarily connected to her specifically, but some other things this cop had going on. Yeah. Also, an assistant district attorney was accused as well. So, I mean, these were some, influential big people who are in the government, in the system. So not, we've talked about just blatant racism, but also systematic racism within the government and within the justice and legal system. So here are an assistant district attorney and a cop involved in this whole thing. So this was big. She went in. She went in. So Al Sharpton and the crew, they wanted to be a part of this, and make sure that they brought a lot of attention. They went on to accuse white local officials, the KKK, the mafia, the Irish Republican Army. I mean, this was big.
You know what I'm surprised about? I am surprised that there weren't more murders behind this, because she came for some big
She came for some
people.
big name people.
We all know that, there's a lot of corruption in most organizations, really. But especially the organizations that she targeted. I'm surprised they didn't come for her family.
You're right. That is very surprising. But I mean, they came for some really big people. There were marches. I mean, there were demonstrations. I mean, this was huge. And of course, why, anyone living in New York around that time would have known about this story and what was going on. It was a really big thing. And of course, you're hearing a 15-year-old girl was victimized in such a way. Not only is she saying that she was raped, but these racial slurs. I mean, when you hear it, you would think, who could make up such a story? I don't even think your mind will go to, okay, she made this up. No. You're thinking, oh my gosh,
especially
look at
as
what happened.
A 15-year-old girl, she definitely looked the part, very innocent. When you see her, she had the mannerisms. She looked hurt. She looked broken. She played that role very well.
Very well. Now, once her claims were investigated, the police said, look, bitch, you lying.
You's a liar.
Story fell apart. She had cut in her sneakers, but that looked like it was cut when her feet were not in the sneaker. She had a burn on her crotch, but how your jeans got burnt, but you ain't get burnt. So there's a lot of things that fell apart. The feces ended up being dog feces. It's just, her story really fell apart. So she's now working as a nurse somewhere under a new name, and trying to live her best life and forget about this whole thing and this whole situation. At the time, when the police basically said, look, bitch, this is not true. This did not happen the way that you said. You owe a lot of people apologies. She said, look, I don't care what y'all got to say. This is true, and this happened to me.
She held on to her lie.
She surely did. And it was about 6 months after the case, her boyfriend at the time said, look,
she was lying.
She was lying. Okay,
she was with me.
She just ain't want to get a beating.
Getting this good D. Didn't want to go home, so she concocted this story.
And I mean, what a story! What a story! Even later on, because this really stained Al Sharpton's budding career. I mean, obviously, Al Sharpton still, is who he is, and it didn't necessarily hold him back. However, it really did put a big stain on his career, because it was really odd that he never really
did his due diligence.
Never did his due diligence. Never did his due diligence to seek the truth from her. He just kind of went by what they said. And that was that,
and there were people in his camp that stated, he doesn't really care about the situation. He's really just in this because he wants the publicity. He sees it as an opportunity to launch his career. And he really doesn't care. And I think even today, for me, even personally, there are a lot of people within the black community that are very torn or on the fence about Al Sharpton. So he's one of those people where, they said all publicity is good publicity, because at least puts you out there. I think he's one of those people, because I'm going to be honest with you, I appreciate some of the things that he has done.
Absolutely.
But we've had this conversation before. His intentions, I'm just very leery
just
of that.
Real sketchy.
I feel as though that if it's not a financial gain or some sort of gain for him to get publicity or notoriety, he's not going to be involved with it. I think that he's someone that realizes, kind of like Kim Kardashian, she realized, what it is that the people like. And she's made a career off of it, which is the reality show. So he knows people like drama. People like a hero. They like a villain.
And how to drum up the black people and get us all riled
he knows
up.
That we are emotionally charged, especially when it comes to those very sensitive topics. And I think that he's made a career off of it. Again, has he helped some people? Yeah, I'm sure he has. But I also think that I really question his intentions.
Right. There was someone who said around that time that they claimed that Al Sharpton said that, we beat this, we'll be the biggest niggas in America.
Yeah.
Because it was really about legacy for him. It was really about not just, of course, social justice. And I do truly believe that he does believe that is important. So? I do, because outside of some of the intentions, I do feel like just knowing his past, and he grew up as a preacher. I mean, he's been preaching since he was like 5 years old,
What does that mean?
That meaning that he is founded in wanting to do what's best for the community at some level. Not to say that he's not going to try to, get at it however way he can get at it and not be infamous in whatever way that he can. Not to say that he is not someone who would do whatever or sacrifice integrity. I'm not saying that, but I would say at the core of him, he probably does believe in social justice and activism, because why else, unless you're just trying to say, look, I want to be the next, or just as big as, the rest.
I'm going to have to say that I think that he is a narcissist, and I think that...
You know who he's friends with, who he goes way back with?
Oh, which one?
45. Trump. They have a long history together.
Right. You're right.
Another narcissist.
Yeah.
They do have a long history.
I just don't trust them. I've never trust Al Sharpton.
Do you know
Whenever I see him
one of the
on any
cigar clubs that Al Sharpton smokes in belongs to one of Trump's sons. Yeah, so they have a long history, guys.
Yeah, I don't trust them. That's just one nigga I don't trust personally. I've always felt that way, and you're probably right. It may have stemmed from how he handled this situation. It just didn't seem authentic.
Yeah,
because at no time did I feel in the different documents or documentaries or shows or when he was on the news. You know how when you are genuinely focused on the well-being of an individual, that's where you direct your attention,
right? And
there was never a time when he was speaking that I felt that he was directed towards her. It was always towards the people, towards us. It was never, hey, I don't think he ever looked,
because it was really about himself and his career, and it really damaged all three of them. It really did damage their careers. And as far as Tawana was concerned, she was sued for defamation by one of the men that she accused. He won his defamation claim. It was $190,000. The last thing I read, which was from 2013, she hadn't paid by that time, and with interest, it was $432,492. Okay, that's a lot of coins. Hello, so that was a lot of coins at that time. And even her three advisors, they also were a part of the defamation claim and had to pay. They had individual sums, but it all totaled to about $351,000.
Yeah.
And supposedly that was paid by Johnny Cochran.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was, held accountable civilly through that defamation suit. Eventually, even though whether she paid or not, I'm not sure if it's been paid up to this point. They were even talking about wanting to garnish her check.
Wages,
and the victim even said, you know what? It's really not about money. It's about what she did to me, my character, my family, my career. That lie is heavy. That was a real big deal, a real big thing. And he said, if she just even comes out and says the truth, I will drop it.
Yeah. And
I will drop it. She said, no. She said, no. Look, this happened to me. I'm not budging. She hold true to her word, even though, the evidence said that it was a lie. And even Al Sharpton, when he was interviewed years later, I want to say this was back in 2018, he even said, look, I don't know. It was a young girl. She was gone for some time. Something happened.
Right.
And it's just like, even he couldn't let it go.
Yeah, but and I think that's a very inappropriate way to handle something like that, because at the end of the day, if you're an activist, I understand that maybe you lean towards black people, but you should be seeking truth, and you should be seeking, justice for everyone. So I think that if you realize that this young lady put herself or put other people in the positions that she did, be a man about it. Say, you know what, I was wrong in assuming, that, well, even if he said, you know what, I believed her as you did, right? Because a lot of people believed it as well,
right?
But based on the evidence, it looks like that this young lady, she fabricated these things, and I apologize for the part that I played in this. Do that,
because you don't necessarily have to cop. Because at the end of the day, who really knows, what happened? But based on the evidence,
right,
it looks like everything that she said was a lie. And just like you said,
he could have, because she said that she was gang banged. I mean, did they do any type, well, she was clearly taking dick them 4 days, but it wasn't did they? I didn't read anything about semen. That's a great point. I didn't read anything about semen or hear anything about semen and what happened, if there was a rape kit, right?
As I've learned in Law and Order SVU, rape kits are taken generally when someone says that they were sexually assaulted. I don't know. That's a really great point. To look into, to see if anything really came of any medically, if there were any findings related to her supposed rape. So who knows? But again, she probably was taking dick that whole weekend. Probably. Who knows?
Her boyfriend said it.
Where is he? Out.
Do we ever follow up on him?
I didn't hear anything about him.
I'm surprised
years later,
or
what
like a show or a spin-off, or some journalists didn't track him down and say, "Hey, we want to hear your story." I would have been all over that.
Oh, for sure.
I would have been.
I definitely would love to hear an updated story on Tawana. What's going on with her, and if she really is going to hold on to that story, or will she come clean and say, "Look, my stepfather was about to beat my ass, and I did not want to get my ass beat, and I was scared, and that's why I said what I said." I mean,
is she afraid of maybe the repercussions of her coming out? Clearly, that's what.
Well, she certainly wouldn't have to pay back almost $1 million in a defamation suit, because according to that now victim, the person who she claimed raped her, he said he would drop it. If she would just come out and tell the truth, But at the end of the day, I mean, who knows? People, their integrity, maybe that's just, again, one of those things that she just said, you know what? We're going to take this one to the grave.
Now, in the light of what I know you're going to jump to next with Jussie. What do you call him?
Jussie.
In the light of Jussie, do you think that she's probably getting some heat?
Probably. I haven't heard a lot about her. It was actually, one of our viewers who sent this over, and shout out to our viewers. And guys, don't forget to ask these nuts. You have questions, you have comments, you have show topics. Don't forget to hashtag ask
or
these
if
nuts.
you want to join us right here and say something, listen, we are open to having audience participation.
Absolutely.
You guys make us. You guys have made us and will continue to make us successful. So we want you a part of this journey. So don't only ask these nuts, but reach out and say, listen, I think that I have a really good topic for you guys, and I would love to be a part of it. And you know what? If you're not ugly, we might let you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So literally, I got a message that said Tawana Brawley equals Jussie Smollett, and that's all it was. So I just started to do the research from there, and that's where things unfolded. I'm like, wow, there are so many similiarities in the story. But outside of that, I really didn't hear a lot about Tawana, and it surprised me.
Maybe a lot of people forgot about it.
Possibly, maybe a lot of people forgot.
This generation, because this did happen in 1987,
right?
So these millenniums wouldn't probably know too much
anything
about, but a good journalist would.
So Jussie Smollett, guys, look,
get
Jussie,
into it.
And this. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When the whole Jussie thing came out, I I was on his side because I was like,
She
who
was.
the fuck? For 2 seconds before
was.
we have this group message on IG before I forwarded the story, I was just like, damn, who just had bleach and a rope? And I thought to myself, okay, wait, they probably weren't going for Jussie specifically, but wanted to attack a black person, and they were ready. Yeah. And it just so happens to be that Jussie was in the wrong place at the wrong time and just happened to get fucked up. And yeah, they recognized him from Empire, so they said, oh, Empire? Right. Okay, we about to get this nigga. Right. That's how I rationalized it. Guys, look. So let's break this timeline down. So January 29th, he files a police report alleging assault on a Chicago street. Right. He was beaten by 2 masked men he believed to be white, shouting homophobic and racist slurs. Okay. They threw bleach on him, hung a noose around his neck, and yelled MAGA country.
Okay, I want to talk real quickly about that part. Okay. So here's some of the things that stood out for me with that specifically. Okay. First of all, bleach is in a really, really big bottle, and it's heavy. Who's walking around the street with a big bottle?
You don't have to have a big bottle of bleach. They have their small little bottles for like $1.
So they went to the dollar store.
They probably went to the dollar store and had the dollar one.
All right, so that was the first thing. This one thing that stood out for me even more is the fact that he kept the noose around his neck
for evidence.
For evidence, it just didn't connect. Now I understand that people think differently. People handle situations differently. But for this, for me, it just didn't connect. Why are you keeping the noose around your neck? It's like a rape victim, right? When somebody is raped or violated in any way, you want to immediately relieve yourself from anything that reminds you of that incident, right? So why would you sit with a noose around? It just... That for me stood out.
Well, as Charlamagne said, it was too much sauce on it.
It was.
Too much sauce on the story, so he didn't believe it initially. But for me, I'm like, damn, Jussie, he's this big star in Empire. He's, an activist, and, in some ways, why would he even make this up again? Which is why I rationalized it as these were people who were gunning for any black person on the street. It just happened to be this motherfucker out in the Chicago streets in negative 30-degree weather.
It was cold as fuck.
To go to Subway because Subway was open and it's 24 hours and he was hungry. Okay, guys, leave him alone.
First of all, then the whole Uber Eats.
Maybe, I don't know, child. So then January 30th, police released images of the potential persons of interest.
That's right. And they got those pictures from street cameras.
Street cameras, because Chicago is heavily surveillance. That's how they help with crime in Chicago. So there's cameras practically
not really
everywhere.
Helping much.
However, and that's probably, people were saying that's probably why, things went down and he probably planned it for Chicago, knowing that, there are cameras everywhere. So most likely it was going to be caught on camera, but the actual attack itself was not caught on camera.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a little bit on the fence with that specifically, because especially if you know that you're fabricating something to that degree, why would you want to have so much cameras?
Because at that point, that solidified, that takes away the doubt that, I done got fucked up. You can see me getting fucked up. It's dark. You're not going to see the people's face. It's not like you're going to see, their images to see, later on that we come to find out it was two black Nigerians motherfuckers instead of the white people who he thought it was. You're not going to see all of that in grave detail, but what you will see is Jussie getting his ass beat.
True, but you're also going to be able to see the getaway and a lot of other details that's going to expose you.
Probably
so I would have rather been myself have been the evidence with him being beat up, the bruises. I would have rather that if I was
because
Jussie
anybody could say that you made that up, like that you beat yourself, that you scratched yourself. Like Tawana, she put the feces on herself. She girl and put herself in her own bag. It would have helped if on camera we would have seen somebody put the feces on her face and put her in a bag. Just like it probably would have helped Jussie's case if we would have saw somebody beat his ass. Because then there's no question that he didn't, he done fucked him own self, or this was like a really staged fight.
They never questioned. They never really questioned the fact that he got his ass beat. When they look at the cameras, it wasn't to question him. It was more to see, let's find this person. So if you know that you're fabricating it, why would you do things that's going to further expose you? Just my thought. Just what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I felt like it would have helped his story for the fight to be caught on camera, because reading comments, like a lot of people say, well, where's the fight? How is it that this was recorded but the fight wasn't recorded? Whereas the fight, people wanted to see it. People wanted to see the actual attack. So January 3rd, police released images of the potential persons of interest. February 1st, Jussie speaks out for the first time, hoping for justice and acknowledging there were misrepresentations in his case. You know, people were talking about, he said that his ribs were broken. You know, he's like, no, that's not how it happened. There's little minute details that he said were not true. So he performs on February 2nd. I think this is where he really wanted to catapult himself, as he calls himself, the gay Tupac.
I think that was just so disrespectful.
Jeez, why did he have to say that?
Like, he just smeared it in. He just smeared it in.
That was terrible.
Yeah, very tacky.
And I think what he was going for was to say, you know, I am gay, I'm a gay man, but it doesn't mean that I'm a punk and you can bully me. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna fight back, because he repeatedly said, I fought back. I fought back. Like, let y'all know I come for me if you want to. Just because you think because I'm gay that you can attack me and beat me down, no, motherfuckers, I will fight your ass back. And I think maybe that's where he was trying to go with this whole thing in a stance for the LGBT.
I don't know.
Sorry guys, carry the one community. But it didn't go too well. And the whole the Tupac reference, it was just way too much. It was over the top. It was too much. February 12th, police reject his phone records, stating that they don't meet the burden of criminal investigation because there's too much information that was redacted. So they wanted to have his phone. This motherfucker said, no, y'all not gonna have my phone. Which, now I understand.
I do. He is a celebrity. You know, and there are a lot of people within the police system that work with the TMZs and the media.
These bitches can't be trusted. I'm sorry. And you know, Chicago police have had a long history of making shit up and manipulating situations, and I can understand why he didn't trust them. I can understand why someone of his caliber wouldn't just say, here, take my phone, because he's not an ordinary citizen. You know, there's a lot of confidential information, a lot of people, a lot of access, a lot of things that they could have, you know, so I understood.
That wasn't a red flag for me at all.
That wasn't a red flag for me at all. However, they couldn't really use the information the way that they needed to because of how much of the information wasn't available to them. On the 13th of February, the Nigerian brothers were picked up and questioned at the airport.
How did they
They were picked up at the airport.
How did they find them? Like, I know that they had the video.
They saw them video and they started to track them down. I don't recall how, you know,
I think they saw the getaway car. Was that what it was?
And how that all led to it. I don't remember that part of it, but they found them. So they found them. On the 14th, Jussie interviewed with GMA. He said he felt like he was heartbroken because people weren't taking him seriously. He said that he felt like if his attackers were of another race other than white, then people would have taken it more seriously. Well, if they were black, if they were Muslim, isn't a race, sorry. But if they were black, if they were some other race, then people would have taken his claims more seriously.
I remember that interview.
And you know, would have investigated it more. But so I guess, look, a lot of people just didn't believe. Now there were people who did come to his defense, because there were celebrities that said, look,
because
you remember
cast of Empire.
Mike Epps was like, look, if y'all want to fight somebody, you meet me in the streets of Chicago. Well, let me tell you when I'm gonna be there, and I will fuck y'all asses up if y'all want to come for people. There were people who came out for him and stood up for him, but then there were a lot from the jump who were like,
this doesn't sound right.
This just does not sound right. So he had the GMA interview. Between the 15th and 16th of February, the now suspects, the Nigerian brothers, were picked up, questioned, and said that they were paid by Jussie. They gave him up.
They said they felt bad about everything because I don't think they really were forethinking in what the after effect of. I don't know what they thought this was going to do. Like I don't know how you would have thought it would have been of any less of a response than what actually happened.
Right.
You know, but they said that they felt bad. Now here's the thing. So if you snitch on yourself, you're not held accountable for what you do. I don't understand that part. Why is it that they were released so easily? Because they decided to tell the truth.
And that's what happened a lot of times with snitches. They get deals because they want the bigger fish. And in this case, the bigger fish was Jussie. And he's a big star and a big celebrity, so they want to take his ass down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it definitely I personally think that it definitely gives the wrong message, where people are going to feel as though that, you know what, if I involve myself in something that I know initially wasn't right, but I fess up about it after I do it, after I benefit from the financial gain, it'll be okay. That's the message that I got.
Yes, and that is true, and I think also the nature of the crime also weighs heavily, because of course, just because you are a snitch doesn't mean that you're going to get away scot-free, because of course what it could mean is that you'll get lesser punishment. But in this case, based on the type of crime, which is just this false claim,
right,
it didn't necessarily deem prison time for them.
Well, Jesse's gonna,
because he's the one that filed the false police report, not them. So for them, they were acting. There was a paid gig. He's the one that filed the false police report. They were paid, okay? They were performing. So, the 21st, Jussie surrenders to the police after being charged the day prior with filing a false police report. So he's the one that filed the report. So he's the one that's being charged. The police said he paid the brothers $3,500 to stage the attack. Now the check itself said something that it was for payment of working out or gym, or that they were nutrition his trainers or whatever the case,
to prepare for some upcoming music video or something.
Yeah. So, which I mean, who's gonna say right in the memo section, this is for the stage attack on January 29th? To be my, you know what I mean? Who's gonna write that out on the memo section?
Stage MAGA attack.
Hello.
Signed, Jussie Smollett. I don't think
even though the memo says that it's for, come on. Yeah. So March 8th, Jussie was indicted on 16 counts.
That's
16
crazy.
Counts of disorderly conduct.
How do you think he felt about that?
His attorneys think it's ridiculous, of course. Right. And there's also an internal investigation in the Chicago Police Department alleging that there were leaks about his case. So that investigation was going on. However, nothing was really founded in terms of the leaks. But
it doesn't
16
matter.
Counts. So one for every lie.
Leaked or not, you was a fucking lie. You lied, sir.
Yeah. So for every lie, for the most part, that's where all of these different counts come from. Now, as far as false police reports, it's not something that necessarily happens a lot, but if you can imagine, it takes up time, it takes up resources and taxpayers' money to now investigate these false claims.
Especially
so that's right. We're about to hit you all over the head. Yeah. And this is a high-profile case, and we're about to teach y'all, which a lot of cases do set precedent. We're about to teach y'all asses. If y'all come up with this fake shit, we're about to hit you over the head. Okay? Stop playing around.
Right.
And as recent as March 14th, Jussie pled not guilty to those counts. So they claim that he did all of this because he wanted to raise his profile.
Yeah.
And his TV salary. But they do say infamy in any way can, help to drive somebody. I just really feel like he fucked himself.
He did.
If this is really, really fake and he really, made this whole thing up, I feel like he fucked himself.
Yeah, bad call. He would have been better off, stating that he feels that because he's black and gay, that is the reason why maybe he's not getting equal pay.
Right.
I don't know. He would have been better jumping on that bandwagon. But for you to completely concoct a story such as this and playing on the emotions of the people that have supported you, that was just low. That was
and played
selfish.
On Trump era too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is this gonna be worth, if you do get to work again, is this really gonna be worth? I'm not even gonna lie, because when Empire came on the other day and I was watching, I felt, I don't know, when I was watching, I was like, ugh.
I was watching social media's reaction. I didn't watch the show, but I remember watching social media's reaction, and everybody was like, the memes were, when Jussie Smollett came on the episode, they were like, that was the reaction. A lot. You feel differently.
Yeah, it just makes you feel a way seeing him on camera. So it's just like, I don't know, son. Like, I really don't think that this was a good move.
Nah.
If in fact this is true that he made this whole thing up.
Is he gonna bounce back?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna bounce back?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I would hope not. I would hope if this is really founded, that he made this whole thing up and this is really what it is, that I would hope that at this point he's gonna have to be independent and do his own thing. And nobody's really gonna back him. By his goddamn self.
He needs Olivia Pope He needs Olivia Pope.
Clearly.
She was real.
And don't use R. Kelly's crisis manager, because that nigga, Lord
have
he
mercy.
ain't got no damn sense. You could tell this R. Kelly situation was his first big crisis management situation, so don't use him either.
He was more concerned about making sure his dreadlocks were done than managing his talent.
Hello.
Okay?
Damn, don't use
that
him,
nigga was
Jussie.
sharp as hell on Gail's show, but sir, you fucked up.
Yeah, get
Your
you
suit
an
was
Olivia
more
Pope.
on point with
Get
what
you an
you were
Olivia
supposed
Pope.
to be doing,
Hello.
which is to manage your client and ensure
Hello.
that he doesn't further bury himself.
And just to segue a little bit in that whole situation, like, sir, if you a real crisis manager, wouldn't you know to keep R. Kelly to shut the fuck up?
First of all,
I don't give two shits if R. Kelly want to talk. You, as his crisis manager, you tell that nigga to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And if there's going to be any public statements made, either you or the attorney will make those statements.
Yep.
And I even think, even when he was on Don Lemon, I was just like, sir,
they
you're
need
a
to
crisis
stop.
manager.
I felt
Shut
like,
up.
I think that because they know the influence and the impact that R. Kelly still does have on the people, they felt like, we need to put him in front of the cameras. We need to put him in front of the cameras. But what they didn't realize is that, well, first of all, R. Kelly is not the most articulate motherfucker, but
Which is why you should have kept him off the camera.
right. But I think that they felt that he would have been able to touch the people the way that he have with his songs, because for such a long time he's been so influential and he's been able to mask what really is going on because of this charismatic way about him. And I think that's what they thought was going to allow him to be able to ride, is that he was going to be able to schmooze.
He put on a show, just like the two Nigerian
He was over
niggas.
the top.
He put on a show.
He was over the top.
Okay, he might
right?
as well have been paid for that performance on the Gayle King interview.
Because it's
Who
like,
knows?
sir,
Maybe
come on,
Jussie
you
wrote him a
forgot
check
that.
too.
Like we saw the video, sir. We saw the VHS. This has been going on for decades. Like, we are not new to this. We are true to this. Like, we know that you are that nigga, and unfortunately, myself included, we just kind of put it behind us.
Yeah.
We kept supporting you, but now we're at a place where we can't
We
do it
gotta stop
anymore.
supporting these people.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, so
We can't do it
So
anymore.
when you think about false reports and does it really undermine credible rape and race crime? So what I found on New York Times is that fake hate crimes are not common and are not formally tracked. It's estimated that 21,000 hate crime cases between 2016 and 2018 were reported, and fewer than 50 were found to be false. So it's very minuscule in the big bucket of hate crimes. However, when it does happen, especially in such a big light like the Tawana Brawley case, like the Jussie Smollett case, it kind of makes you now you feel like instead of being able to jump and support, now you feel like you should have done like Al Sharpton did and sat back and said, hold on, let me seek truth first.
It's about
Let
facts.
me dig a little bit deeper and see if I can
about
get to
facts.
some facts before I say I'm going to rally behind that person. And that sucks.
Yeah.
Especially for those who are true victims.
Yes.
It really takes away from them.
Yeah.
So,
but I will say that there are people, myself included, because I am someone that I do not jump on the bandwagon. And unfortunately, sometimes as a culture, we expect people to just accept and just be okay with whatever action someone committed because of the color of their skin. And I've never been that person. I've never been the one to say, I'm not pro-black, because of course I'm a black woman, but I handle each situation separately. And I take a stance and I do my research and I really assess, okay, well, what part did you play? I hear what you're saying, and the big picture might look like you were treated adversely, but let's really dig back or pull back the onions, as we say, and really assess what was your part. What part did you play in this situation? Because a lot of times in these big high profile cases where we have the picketing of Black Lives Matter, the people that were involved, the people that were picketing for it, they had a lot to do with the situations that they are in.
they weren't necessarily totally clean.
They were
wasn't
not.
just like you were just randomly attacked and assaulted. There was probably something
There was something
that happened.
kind
Of course, there's a
involvement.
lot of situations where it's just random.
Of course.
And it's certainly not justified. And it's just like, how the hell did this happen? But then again, you have those Tawana Brawleys out there and these Jussie Smolletts out there. And it's just like, what?
But I think it's important as a people for me. So my biggest lesson, and I'm hoping that other people felt this way as well, is that as a people, we cannot just assume. We cannot allow these types of individuals to be able to easily sway us or tap into our emotions and get us riled up for some bullshit.
Right.
You know, and that leads to the next set of topics. Why are people so desperate?
Why are they so desperate? Why do they run away from the truth? Why not, find some other means? I mean, could Tawana and I have come up with a different story?
Right. Or take your ass beating,
and just take your ass beating, bitch. You know you stayed out, and you know you were supposed to do what you was gonna do. I remember like when I skipped school. Yeah. One time I skipped school and I was walking across because we live very close to a turnpike, and we walked because we did a lot of walking at those times as a teenager thing. We didn't have a car, and I was walking on a major street and crossing over the turnpike. Now my mom was supposed to be at work, okay, but that day this lady decided to go to work late. So because she went to work late and this major road was by our home, as she's driving to work, who does she see?
Hello.
Wendy Jodie. Okay. Walking down the street with her friends.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be in school just bopping along. And there goes my mother. Holy shit. Yeah. I'm in fucking trouble. Yeah. And I saw her. Yeah. I saw her, and I know I had the feeling that she saw me, and I'm like, holy shit. So she did. Wow. So what did I say to my friend? I said, look, let me tell y'all something. We about to ride out this whole fucking day. When I tell you, we had fun that day, and I said I am not going home until this day is truly over, because I know she's about to whoop my ass. Okay. And sure enough, when we even walked back to school at the end of the school day, and people walking up to me, they said, ooh, Wendy, we heard over the announcer that your mom was looking for you. She was she came to the school. Sure enough, she did. She went to the school and was like, where is my daughter? Sure enough, I wasn't there, and my friends told me as we were walking back, they're like, look, your mom came to school looking for you. So I even knew, then, I was like, I am not going straight home, because there's no point, because this lady ain't her crazy ass, because she used to whoop my ass back in the day. I said, look, I am not even going straight home. Knew for sure at that point that she did see me. Right. And
you wrote it out.
I said, time. Look, I'm gonna fuck it. I know I'm gonna get my ass beat. Right. I'm gonna enjoy this moment and have a great time. Right. Never once would it occur to me to make up some fucking crazy story. Right. Like this girl did. I just had my fun and came home, and I took my punishment.
She was very advanced, because I expect that kind of shit from this millennium of children, especially with social media. Yeah. So for you in 1987 to come up with all of that,
that was very creative. Brilliant. That was very fucking creative. So I took my ass whooping and just kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? As a lot of people would do. You just take the ass whooping and keep it moving. Yeah. So
running away from the truth,
but instead of running away from the truth. So this, what I'm about to read, came from thecut.com, and it just goes a little bit deeper into why some people do the things that they do, because
what's the cut.com?
A website.
The Cut. Okay.
A website. Where it talks about why some people do the things that they do in trying to make up these lies and seek this sort of attention. So a 20-year FBI agent found that false hate crime reports are usually for attention and sympathy. People want to garner this attention and sympathy, but why? Why do they want to do this? So if the behavior is deliberate, in that the deception that has been planned and executed in a deliberate way in order to mislead other people, we would call that fictitious disorder, in most cases Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah, makes sense.
That was weird to me when I read that. They go on to say it used to be thought that all cases of Munchausen syndrome involved false illness claims. But in most recent iteration of the DSM-5, they specify that people can feign illness, injury, or impairment. So, for example, there have been individuals who have faked being drug addicts because it was a certain cachet in certain communities, like the rock music community, where you're viewed as triumphant if you've been able to turn your back on such an addiction that in fact really didn't even occur in your life. Wow.
Well, because when you think about Munchausen system, you're right? So we have painted the picture of usually a mom
Right.
You know, putting that on her child. So to view it in a different light, this definitely busts it wide open.
Right.
And makes it possible once again.
Mental
really
health people.
wrong.
Mental health. And can you believe it comes back to mental health again? Like, what is seriously wrong with these people? You know, and if they truly are seeking attention one, and sympathy. Because, I mean, one must think that for you to come up with such a fucking elaborate scheme like this.
That's a lot.
Tawana's case garnered a whole lot of attention and garnered a whole bunch of fucking sympathy. Sure, I mean, that was outrageous, you know, what her claims were. And Jussie, the same thing. Yelling out MAGA country, bleach on you, a noose around your fucking neck. I mean, damn.
That was a lot.
A lot of attention. And again, a lot of sympathy. So you really have to wonder, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What is wrong with them? So
I think I talked about this the last time we talked about Jussie, where when you think about the character that he plays in Empire, it's not far-fetched for something like that to happen. So going back to the whole mental health issue, he really could have been lost in his character. It's a strong possibility. He really could have been lost in his character, because when you think about it from a television perspective, the drama, the action, the extraness, that is really who his character is. He just never stepped away from it.
But I do feel though strongly, just like in Tawana's case, she was held accountable through you know, that that defamation suit. Really, Jussie, honestly, even though this case is still unfolding and there's still a lot more to go, because he just pled not guilty on the 14th of March. You know, I really do hope that if he did do this, that he is found and held accountable, because this is fucking ridiculous. Again,
I want to hear from the people. I want to hear from you guys. Those of you guys watching, if you're not able to watch live, whatever, email us, go to our Instagram, go to our Facebook, go to our YouTube, and tell us what you think. Like, I really want to know, what do you think? So let me be more specific. What did you think when you initially heard about it? Okay. What did you think when it came out that he was lying? And how do you think this is going to turn out? What do you think is going to happen?
What do you think is going to happen with Jussie in his case?
What do you think is going to happen?
Because that is really, really interesting to see.
The people. I want the people to tell me what they think.
Yes.
Black, white, Chinese. I want all of y'all. And that's actually, I do want to know or hear this opinion from people of different races as well, because I think it's going to be different. What do you think?
I mean, of course, but although from what I've seen, because I kind of had some discussion about it on my Instagram page, where, you know, a lot of people, were taken aback by the whole gay Tupac comment. That really turned a lot of people off. 1 and 2, it just really felt like there was way too much. There was way too much that was going on with their story, and just so much that didn't seem right. You know, going out late at night, like, who does that? It's cold. Now again, Subway was open, so clearly they expected people to come in. It's sub-zero temperatures.
It's different,
you know, but it just didn't feel right to a lot of people. So I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people didn't believe
in the lie. I think there's a lie, and there's a lie, right? When you think about a lie, no one wants to be lied to, but when you think about how much effort somebody actually puts into playing out that lie, I think that's what makes it cuts even more. He went in. It's one thing just to get up and say, I was beat and there was no evidence, but for you to have planned this weeks in advance, and to go to the depth that you did,
this is too much. So talk to us. Let us know. Let us know what you thought when it first happened. What are you thinking now, and what do you think is going to happen later on with this case? Because this is really something that's bubbling and developing, and I really want to know. Like you said, talk to us. Let us know how you feel. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. You know, this was really great conversation as per usual. You know, we try to give you more than just the face of the story, but try to go in a little bit deeper and talk about things that most people are not talking about, which in this case is the why behind what these people did or accused of doing. You know, why would somebody do something like this?
Tawana Brawley. A lot of people probably either don't remember or
didn't hear about the Tawana Brawley story. So you know, to introduce something else. So don't forget that you can catch us on YouTube, on Facebook. We are on Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. We're everywhere, y'all. Every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. So be sure to tune in.
420.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So we are hosting an amazing event. It's called Trap at the Brunch. You guys remember those old school 90s party where everybody was just having a good time, music was playing, this really good energy, good fun, good food. So we're bringing that back, you guys.
Yes.
Trap brunch party. Make sure you get your tickets. We're gonna, of course, have the information connected to this podcast, but you guys don't want to miss it, guys.
You don't
But
want to miss it.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for
joining us, guys.
joining.
Podcast Deez.
We out, y'all.
Bye, guys.